That's right. We have Tennessee's Democratic chair joining us now, Mary Mancini. Mary, thank you for being with us as always on election night.
Oh, thank you. I wish I was there in person with you all, but glad you're doing well during this very difficult and strange time we're living in.
Most certainly.
Want to start with, we talked to Congressman Jim Cooper and the House District 5 race, a couple of legitimate challengers. What is your take on Keita Haynes's message trying to push Congressman Cooper to pay a little closer attention to some specific issues in the district?
Well, I think that's always welcome in the Democratic Party. You know, a healthy exchange of ideas is what we're all about, right? And making sure that we come up with the best policy for the people of the state of Tennessee. That said, you know, Congressman Cooper is an excellent public servant. He is an excellent person who really does a lot of constituent services. The voters like him, the people of the district like him. So, you know, he's good at what he does, and he will continue to be.
I do want to ask you about the U.S. Senate race to replace Senator Lamar Alexander. Much has been said about the tone of this race, and it's almost a foregone conclusion that a Republican will win that seat. But from a Democratic standpoint, what is your take on where the tone has gone?
Well, it's, you know, I heard Scott Golden, the Republican Party chair, say it was a family fight, and, you know, it was no family dinner that I would want to attend. I think it's the tone is, it's not good for the country. You know, instead of tearing each other down, we should be lifting each other up. There's so much that has to be done, not just in the state of Tennessee, but for this country. We're in a very precarious situation right now with this pandemic, with unrest, with, you know, issues that we have in this country in terms of diversity and inclusion. And that's what every candidate that runs for office needs to be focused on. So to see these two men go at each other in such a divisive way, we just don't need that anymore. And it's tiresome and it's tiring and, you know, and very unfortunate. And, you know, if one of them does win and ends up being the U.S. Senator, well, I mean, what good is that to the people of the state?
All right, let's bring in Pat Nolan now. Pat.
Mary, you're a candidate that the party leaders seem to be backing in this. Jay McAllister is right now in third place in the Senate race. You may have to pivot, and you do have two strong African-American candidates leading that race. Does that change the way you run that race? There's a lot of energy going on in the African-American community in Nashville and across the state. Does that give you a chance to get a large turnout and maybe turn the numbers around a little bit in November?
Sure, it does. But look, I mean, I want to correct your premise a little bit. You know, we believe in healthy primaries, and these candidates, all of the candidates that were in this primary, Democratic primary for U.S. Senate, you know, were running their best races and working hard. You know, there wasn't any presumption on anybody's part that one was going to come out over another. What we're seeing is this is an important time in American history. And the Democratic Party in general, but specifically the Democratic Party in Tennessee, is committed to diverse and inclusive leadership. And I think that's what we're seeing reflected in the voting results tonight. And, you know, no matter, and it's not going to change the way the race is going to be run on our end, whoever the nominee is. You know, we're going to run a race that talks about, you know, what we could all do together instead of constantly dividing each other. You know, we're all in this together. And it's unfortunate that the sitting Republican senator and now these two candidates sort of just, they seem to refuse to see that. And our candidate, I know, will be committed to working for everyone in the state. And that's the kind of race that will be run.
Mary, thank you for joining us tonight.
And speaking of that
Thank you.
race, thanks, Mary.